What's up, YouTube? I just got home from eating out at a restaurant, actually at a steakhouse. Yes, I'm still a vegan. But anyway, my family wanted to go to a steakhouse, so I had to find anything on the menu that was like, vegan. I had to get, I had to pick certain things to eat so I can continue on my vegan journey. But anyway, so this is kind of an update. My skin has cleared up completely. I don't have any pimples except this one bump I got this last night. I think something bit me like a mosquito because I felt a little pinch or a little sting last night. But yes, I felt a little sting last night whenever I was like laying in bed, and that's how I know that it was probably a mosquito, which is so annoying because my skin was so clear. Going back to veganism, it was a great idea. And I've been feeling a lot better. If I would just get my tail in bed at night, then maybe I would get great rest and not feel so, sluggish and like my immune system is down because I didn't even sleep. Anyway, let's get into the video. I also wanted to talk to you guys about my favorite roommate experiences and some that were not as great of experiences as the ones that I'm going to talk about. They were still cool because there were experiences with roommates who were not from America, and I love meeting new people. I love meeting people from all across the world. And I was inspired to do this because I was just watching Mary Jane Byarm's video about how she learned 5 languages. And it just reminded me of all of the different experiences I've had whenever I was living and working at Disney, and also when I was in school in New York. I had lots of different roommates from different countries when I was in Parsons, the New School of Design, when I was in the dorms, and when I was like, just staying. Also, whenever I wasn't staying in dorms, I was staying off campus as well. So I thought that was cool and I wanted to share with you guys. And here we go. The first time that I had roommates whenever I was living in Disney, I was in an apartment with some girls. They were mostly from like the Midwestern or Mid-East part of America, except one of the roommates, she was from, I think it was South Korea. She was really cool. Her name was Soyeon, and she didn't speak very much. She was 24. She was older than all of us. We were all like 21 or something like that. So she was like the mother of the group, and she would cook us Korean barbecue, which we thought that was so cool. Some young adult Americans, we thought that was like so cool. But anyway, some things were kind of weird with that group, so I ended up moving out of that apartment and started to, actually I talked about that in one of my past videos about how I had to move out of that apartment and went to live in another apartment where I had a Chinese roommate who became one of my best friends. Till this day, we keep in contact. I actually want to call her because now I think that I want to learn Chinese, especially since I heard Mary Jane Byarm talking about how she knows how to speak Chinese and how she was like getting ready to go to school for it and stuff like that whenever she was in China living with her sister. So I think that I want to learn Chinese, even though like I grew up with some people who were Chinese and they spoke Chinese, but they never really took time to like teach me, so I actually want to learn. So I think I'm gonna reach back out to my old roommate from Disney so that she can teach me more Chinese, because I know my numbers, I think a little bit. I'm not gonna say them on camera because I don't want to like be weird and not say something right and then people talk about it. But anyway, Andy was one of my best friends. Also in that apartment, there were 4 of us in that apartment. The first apartment, there were 6 of us. So there were all Americans in the first one and 1 South Korean girl. And then when I moved in the second apartment when I worked at Disney, there were 4 of us. One of them was an American, me. And then there was the Chinese girl who was my roommate. She was so sweet. She's like my little sister. And in the other room, there was an Italian girl. She was really sweet as well. She was hardly ever there, but I loved her accent. But I don't know, like, it made me want to go to Italy because I wanted to see if everybody who was in Italy had some of the same mannerisms as her, because she always seemed so tired, or maybe it was just the way that she talked. I don't know if that's a thing in Italy, but anyway. And then her roommate was a girl from somewhere in Great Britain, and she was okay. She was kind of bossy, but yeah, whatever. My favorite was the Chinese girl who was my roommate. She was so sweet. She was young, and you know, I kind of miss her, and I want to reach out to her and talk to her again. And she actually came to New York and she visited me. It was so sweet before she had to go back to China, because she had godparents who lived in America and they lived in New York. So she was there visiting them, and she was like, Jay, I want to come visit you. And so I said, okay, we can meet up. And then we went to eat at this Japanese restaurant, I think, on 5th Avenue. And no, actually it wasn't on 5th Avenue, it was on 4th Avenue and 14th Street or 13th Street or something like that. But anyway, that's what we ended up doing, and I love her to this day. Then after I left Disney, I ended up moving to New York to go to school for fashion design at Parsons, the New School of Design. And my first set of roommates, this wasn't the greatest set of roommates. I had 2 roommates in this set. Okay, so there was 6 of us in this suite, and there were like 3 different rooms within the suite. And in one room there was a girl from California, and I think there was another girl who was supposed to be her roommate, but I don't think she ever came. And then there was another room within our suite where there was an American girl, and she was okay. She didn't really talk. And then there was her Chinese roommate. She was really sweet. Every book, we were both in fashion design, so every book that she would order for class, she would allow me to use it as well. She was so sweet, and we both were at graduation at the same time, and so we noticed each other and we took pictures together. That was so cool. And but I didn't get to really communicate with her in Chinese. I wish I would have. And since I was in fashion school, I didn't really have time to do that. So it was more like I had to finish this work, and I didn't have time to, socialize with people very much. And then in my room was another girl she was American, she was from Arizona. I noticed that the people that I lived with who were from America but from the West Coast, I don't know if their values or their manners were just totally different, and just different from how I was brought up. But yeah, they were totally different people. That was one thing that I noticed from someone who's from down south. They were totally different, and they're totally different from people who were on the East Coast, like in New York and stuff. Because whenever I was in New York, they were totally different than those people. But anyway, the Chinese girl that was in our suite was really sweet to me. And I ended up moving out because I didn't get along with my personal roommate who was from Arizona, but I did get along with this other girl who was cool with her, who was from California. But and we still keep in contact. We're on social media with each other and things of that nature. But anyway, so then I moved to another room. If I'm looking down, it's because I have a list and I don't want to forget anything, but I actually forgot to add this to my list. I moved to a room on campus, a dorm room on campus, and I was living with some American people. They were cool, and those are like my little brother and sister, definitely. They were cool people, but they were all American, so that's nothing really to talk about. We're talking about my foreign roommate. So after that, I moved into a room with a South Korean girl. she was really, really sweet to begin with. She was always telling my mom, like, she's the greatest. If my mom would come to New York and visit, she would be like, she's the greatest. She's so sweet. We both love to sleep. And we both did. We got along so well because I had came to her room during the end of one semester. And at Parsons, whenever it is finals week, all you do is work, work, work. And then at the end of it, everybody's sleeping because we're exhausted because it was so competitive and we had to get our work done and we had so much work to do. So yeah, that's how that went down. But then whenever the next semester came around and I came back, I just noticed that she was like passive aggressive. If she had a problem with something, she wouldn't tell you what the problem was, and she didn't like confrontation. So, which was probably a good thing because you know you don't want to have a full out argument with your roommate because then it'll be awkward for the rest of the time. But she would do slick things like slam the door or ask me, or sometimes she would just straight up come up to me like, hey, when are you gonna get off of your phone? Like, you don't ask me that. When you pay my bill, that's when I'll get off my phone. But anyway, so then that was that roommate. At first she was really sweet. We used to exchange like candy and stuff like that. She used to give me like Korean or just Oriental types of foods that she would have for me to try. But after that, like whenever the semester went on, I don't know if she was stressed. I know she was depressed because she wanted to switch her major because she wasn't able to do couture, and they had told her that she needed to go to Paris or France or somewhere to study couture. But she was already like 25 or something, and she didn't want to do that. So she decided that she just wanted to be a fashion editor or like writer for a magazine. And so I was like, girl, you wasting your time. But anyway, I think she was just depressed over that. And our whole friendship went south after that. So whatever. My next roommate was over the summer. So I experienced a roommate over the summer after that because I was about to be graduating a little bit earlier, I thought, but I ended up graduating on time instead of earlier because of like class conflicts and stuff. But anyway, that summer I went to school and my roommate was a Portuguese roommate. The girl who was in my room, because in the other room within our suite there were two American girls. They were okay, I didn't care, whatever. But my roommate, she was so sweet. This is why I can say that Portuguese people are so sweet, and I keep hearing people say this, and I've witnessed it myself, and I know for a fact that Portuguese people are so sweet. Like, she would want to take me to different restaurants that she had gone to. She was only in the dorms because she was from Portugal and she needed to stay in America to wait and see if she would get a job in her field because she had just graduated with a degree in what was it? It was some kind of design. She designed I think she could design like backpacks. She could design tables, just a lot of different types of design. I think, industrial design. It was industrial design. And so she was just there, just waiting for, you know, her, I guess she was waiting for her citizenship and also to try to get a job or something like that. And when I tell you this girl was so sweet, she was so sweet. She was so encouraging. Anytime I needed help with homework or something, she would like encourage me. Or if I was doubting myself about whatever project I was working on, she would encourage me. She would take me out to eat for food. She would tell me what was good food around our dorm. And I remember she took me to this restaurant called Dos Toros. And oh my goodness, they have the best quesadillas ever. So if you're ever in New York and you're on like 7th Avenue or you're on, I think it's on 7th Avenue and 13th Street, I think. But anyway, they have the best quesadillas. But she was amazing. And we had a lot of great talks too. Like, I wish that we talked more now, honestly. After doing this video, this is really making me notice that I really kind of miss some of my roommates, and I need to get back in contact with them so we can like either meet up one day or I can visit their country or something of that nature, because they were really, really cool and I feel that comfortable and that close to them. And another person, like my last roommate situation where I had an international student as one of my roommates was one of my last semesters. I roomed with a girl from Taiwan and she was really, really sweet. It was so crazy because her major was industrial design. She had just come to the United States, and she was really cool and she was really good at Photoshop and Illustrator, and I needed help because I kind of struggled at the beginning with that kind of stuff. And she was really sweet and she could really help me, and I wish I would have tried to learn some of her language as well, but I didn't. But it was still a great experience. She was so funny, and she was really a down-to-earth person, and that also brings me to that also brings me to remember, I also had a classmate who was from Thailand, and I got along with her very well as well, because in class she was always cold. I was always cold too, and we were always talking about it, and she was like, in Thailand it's warmer, and I was like, yeah, down south it's warmer. And we were both always cold, but eventually I think I adapted, because whenever I came back down south, I was like, it's so hot and humid, and yeah, it was just a whole different feel. But anyway, overall, I had a great experience in my roommate experiences that I had when I was looking at Disney in Orlando, Florida, and also or Lake Buena Vista, and then also I had a great experience with my roommates when I was living in New York. And I just think that if you guys ever get a chance, everybody should go to New York before they die, even though it has interesting smells there that I won't speak of right now. And then I also think that everyone should experience the Disney College program that I experienced in Florida. It was a great experience. I met lots of great people. I'm always out looking for great opportunities to meet different people from different places all over the world. And yeah, so if you guys enjoyed this video, leave me a like, comment below if you like this type of video, and if you want to hear more about my different experiences in life, in travel, and things of that nature, and if you want to see more travel videos, because I'm sure it's a new decade starting. 2020 is coming, and I'm pretty sure I will be traveling some places, and I will take you guys with me. I know I traveled a lot. I showed you guys a lot in my YouTube channel so far of the places I've been going and have been to and things of that nature. And I'm sure I will probably be traveling some more in 2020, and I'm also gonna be another year older. And then also subscribe if you're new. Click that bell for notifications so you'll be notified every time that I post another video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.